Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Grand Slam Journey podcast, where we discuss various topics related to the lessons we have learned from our sports and how we're applying them to grow our skills and leadership in the next chapter of our lives. For me personally, areas of business and technology. I'm tuning in to give you some updates and announcements on my podcasting journey. It has been a busy 1.5 years of podcasting, with the goal of releasing one episode a week. I haven't fully achieved the goal, but I'm pretty close with about 90% compliance. When I set this goal, I realized that consistency, like in sports, is key to success. And so I needed to put some constraint on myself to figure out how to shorten my production time and simplify the process to be able to release content to you on a more regular basis. I have to say I achieved it with some success, and I'm still far away from where I would like it to be. The fun thing about podcasting, probably same like with any other thing you decide to put your mind and energy into, is that the more you learn and the more you know, the more opportunities and things you uncover that you can do better to grow your show and create more impact. I've recently started a YouTube Grand Slam Journey channel. One of the big goals for me is to try to get my podcast into a video form, which has been something I've been really afraid of. I can't really explain the fear behind it, but nonetheless, it was there. I figured out how to move over it, and I started recording my conversations in video and streaming them on YouTube. The channel has grown drastically since I set it up and started posting content on a regular basis, and there is so much more to achieve. YouTube is a whole nother world that I'm uncovering, takes podcasting and learning to a whole new extent. I'm grateful for all of you tuning into this show and following me on YouTube. And stay tuned, there's more to come. If you're someone who's following me on LinkedIn, you may have noticed that I have accepted a new role, which I'm super enthusiastic about. I love change and starting a new career journey, because new beginnings typically come with steep learning curves. I love seeing the progress that I'm able to make from day 0 to day 60, and then every 3 to 6 months, I'm able to gain more effectiveness and efficiency, understanding what my role entails, and with that comes ability to create bigger impact for the company I work for, and obviously the partners I work with. Yet, the one thing about new beginnings is that they are a bit more time-consuming and require more focus and attention. For that reason, I'll be taking a little time off from my podcasting. I'm not sure exactly how long it will be, guessing somewhere between 2 to 4 weeks. I'm gonna use this time to reflect on the journey and try to figure out how I can continue this project going forward with less time requirements, streamline the process and condense the time frame that it requires to get my episodes out into the world. You're listening to this because likely you're someone who listens to my podcast regularly. For that, I'm grateful. And if you're open to it, I want to invite you to please share feedback with me. You can do that in several different ways. 1, you can leave feedback directly on the Apple Podcast or Spotify apps or my YouTube Grand Slam Journey channel. Send me an email at clara@grandslamjourney.com or use my website feedback link. I'll add it for simplicity into this episode notes. Please know that your feedback is really important for me. I read every single email and message that is posted. And I believe reading your feedback would be very helpful for me as I think about how to transition this podcast into the next chapter, continue producing it, while building the next chapter of my career at Accenture. If you're unsure what to share, here's a question that may help with framing. If this podcast was gone and you could never listen to it, what are the 1 to 3 things you would miss the most? If you never had a chance to listen to this podcast again, would you miss it? And what are the 1, 2, 3 things you would miss the most? Last but not least, before I take a break, I have one more episode that will be going live on May 26th. In fact, this episode is already live on my YouTube Grand Slam Journey channel. It is my conversation with Dre Baldwin. If you want to tune into it now, you can watch it on YouTube. I will also leave the link in the episode notes. But if you're someone who enjoys listening to it in Apple Podcasts or Spotify, it will be available on May 26th. It is a super fun conversation, and I hope you will enjoy it as much as I did. Thanks again for tuning in and sharing this podcast with anyone you believe may enjoy it as well. I have recently found out that this podcast achieved top 1.5% placement in the world across more than 3.2 million shows, and that would not be possible without you. And so thanks again for your support. I really appreciate it, and please reach out with any comments or feedback you may have. Positive, negative, neutral. I take them all as it will help me iterate on the next step of my podcasting journey. With grateful heart, your host, Klára Jagošová.